deep in the west of the United States of America, spanning the states of Arizona, New Mexico, and Utah, lies the Navajo Nation, the largest Native American reservation in the U.S. With its capital in Window Rock, Arizona, the Navajo Nation functions with their own laws and government. The history of the Navajo Nation is inseparable from the long push of American expansion across the continent, a push that treated indigenous homelands as empty space to be claimed rather than living worlds already full of law, memory, and belonging. Long before U.S. borders reached the Southwest, the Navajo people, known traditionally as the Diné, had built a way of life rooted in sheep herding, farming, trade, and deep spiritual relationships with the land. Their world was not a wilderness awaiting civilization, but a carefully tended homeland shaped by generations of knowledge. American expansion disrupted this balance, not by accident, but by design, as military campaigns and settlement policies aimed to clear land for newcomers while breaking indigenous independence. The most painful symbol of this process is the Long Walk of the 1860s, when thousands of Navajo people were forced from their homes and marched hundreds of miles to Bosque Redondo, where disease, hunger, and despair were widespread. This was not an unfortunate side effect of growth. It was a strategy to control and contain a people who stood in the way of territorial ambition. Even after the Diné were allowed to return, they came back to a land altered by forts, fences, and the steady pressure of outside authority. Treaties were framed as agreements, yet they were often written in a language and legal system foreign to Navajo traditions and repeatedly violated when economic or political interests demanded more land or resources. American expansion also brought systems that reshaped Navajo life in quieter but lasting ways. Federal boarding schools attempted to replace indigenous languages and customs with English and American norms, arguing that cultural erasure was a form of progress. Livestock reduction programs in the 20th century, justified as environmental management, stripped families of the sheep that were central to their economy and identity, deepening poverty while favoring outside grazing and development interests. Meanwhile, mining and energy extraction on or near Navajo land brought wealth to corporations and distant cities, but left behind pollution and long-term health problems for local communities. Expansion did not end with borders. It continued through economic structures that extracted value while limiting true self-determination. Yet the story of the Navajo Nation is not only one of suffering under expansion, but also of endurance and moral resistance to the idea that power justifies possession. The Diné have preserved their language, ceremonies, and systems of governance, and today the Navajo Nation stands as one of the largest and most politically active indigenous nations in the United States. Many Navajo people are also Christians, and for them, faith exists alongside traditional beliefs rather than in opposition to them, showing that spiritual life can survive even when political justice is denied. An anti-expansion view does not require rejecting faith. It simply recognizes that no nation has a divine or moral right to take another people's land and call it destiny. From this perspective, American expansion appears less like heroic settlement and more like a long pattern of choices that prioritized growth, profit, and national power over the dignity and rights of the first inhabitants. The Navajo Nation's history challenges the idea that expansion was inevitable or harmless, and instead asks whether a country can truly call itself just if its foundations were built on forced removal, broken promises, and cultural suppression. Remembering this does not mean denying the present or wishing harm on anyone today. It means refusing to accept conquest as normal or morally neutral. In honoring the Navajo struggle for survival and sovereignty, we are also questioning a historical narrative that too often excuses injustice as the price of progress. If you have any thoughts, please comment below. If you want to support my channel, please like and share. Subscribe for more hidden corners of the world.